The reason I talk about government so much is because it affects everybody. You've heard the saying, if you don't take an interest in politics, politics will take an interest in you. And it does. It does every single day. It affects, there's nobody government doesn't affect. And it will stop affecting us the moment that we reach a critical mass of people who actually wake up. See, government is all about control. As a matter of fact, that's what the word government literally means. It comes from two Latin words, governo and mentis. Governo means to govern or to control, and mentis means mind, to control the mind or mind control. It's all about controlling you. They want to control you for their purposes, and they use politics to do it. And as I've said many, many times before, and I'll define some of these terms, politics is nothing more, nothing less. And if you look at it practically, how it's lived out, how politicians wield their power, this is exactly what it is. Politics is the clever art of using euphemisms, lies, emotionalism, and fear-mongering in order to dupe average people into accepting and even demanding the chains of their own enslavement. Because government functionaries are smart. They know they can't push us too far, because if they push us too much too soon, there's going to be a revolution, and then they'll lose their power, at least for a time. But they have to push us enough so that we can be tax cattle for them, so that we can fund their wars and all their projects that they make all this money on for the bankers. Because keep in mind, and that's why the left versus right paradigm is so important for them. Because if you and I are bickering among each other, if I say I'm a Democrat or a Republican and you say you're a Democrat or a Republican, or we're against each other, and we're constantly going to the voting booth thinking that we're going to get the hope and change that we've been longing for. Think about every politician. Every politician's campaign on one level or another and one shade or another is offering you hope and promising you change. Obama did it. Reagan did it. Nixon did it. Ford did it. The Bushes did it. Clinton did it. Hope and change. I'm the guy that you want in office so that I can secure more of your freedoms. And then it never happens. Matter of fact, more of your freedoms are taken away. More of your income is taken away. Less power goes to you and more power goes to the state. So what the politicians do is they write these things called laws. They call them laws, but look, a man cannot create a legitimate law. Laws have always been here and will always be here before mankind and after mankind. They are immutable. They are eternal. They are fixed and founded on truth. Not so with man-made laws. Now, what I just described was natural law. Not so with man-made laws. Man-made laws, the politician's laws, it's just the law, it's the opinion of a politician backed by the threat of force. Every single law what comes with every single law. If you break this law, you've sinned against the church called the state and the God called government. You've sinned against government. You've sinned against the state. You've broken the laws of the priests called the politicians. Oh my gosh, you've transgressed. You've sinned. You're a sinner and you must be punished. A law is nothing more, nothing less than the opinions of politicians backed by the threat of force. Jaywalking ticket, threat of force. Even here's the irony. When they want anti-gun laws or these gun violence preventing laws, well, how are they going to enact a gun law? They do it by the barrel of a gun. If you disobey their gun laws, men with guns, they're men with their guns, will come to your house and they will force you to comply with the politician's commands. That's how insane it is, guys. So first and foremost, it must be recognized that the government is here to suppress truth. And that's why Bastiat said the state or government is that great fiction by which everyone seeks to live at the expense of everyone else. It's based in the suppression of truth. Government is based in the suppression of truth. They hold down the truth while they promote the lie. And what are these lies? The lie is that it's okay for them to steal from you, but if you do it, well, then it's illegal and it's immoral according to them. If I'm a government agent, I can pull you over and extract your wealth. I can be a roadside pirate, and it's okay for me to do. But if you do the same actions that government does, you would rightly be called a criminal because you've left a real victim. By the way, that's another term we're going to talk about in a second, the word crime. But if you do the same actions that government does, you are literally immoral. You are literally a criminal, and you do deserve to be punished. Now let's talk about the word crime. It used to be that a real crime left a real victim. You either damaged somebody's property or you harmed somebody physically. You've committed a crime. You've left a real injured party, an injured person. You either took something from them, damaged their property, or you hurt them in some way. No longer is that the definition of crime. It's the true definition of crime. Where there's no victim, there can be no crime. That is the truth. But the fantasy world of government says that you disobeyed the politician's commands. And one of the best examples that you can give for that is the prohibition. 1 minute before midnight, before they enacted prohibition, it was okay for you to drink whiskey and to sell whiskey and to have whiskey. But when the clock struck 12 o'clock, 12 midnight, because the politicians declared it to be illegal at 12 o'clock, starting on this day. 1 minute prior, everything was okay, and now you're a criminal because some politician said so? What magic is this? The state is that great fiction, and you have to believe it for it to work. The moment we stop believing it and just start believing in good old common sense and truth, government starts losing its power, and government does not want to lose its power. They will do everything they can to maintain and retain that power and acquire more power and more wealth and more oil and more gold and more silver. They want to dominate to the point where they'll steal from you, and when you try to preserve the wealth that you yourself created, through your time and your laboring energies, you're trying to keep your wealth. You're trying to keep it from getting stolen. They call you a criminal. They call you a tax evader. That's how insane this world is, guys. Theft is theft. Whether you wear a uniform, a badge, and a gun, and you come with the authority of the state or not, if you steal something, if you pull somebody over and you extract their wealth through codes violations or writing a ticket, you have done that which is immoral. That's the universe judges you. You can try to fool other men if you want to, but if you're a policy enforcer, if you're a politician, if you're a law enforcer, a policy enforcer, you're doing that which is immoral and is not in accordance with the truth. You are trying to suppress the truth, and you're trying to promote the lie that is government, that is politics. And that's just the flat out truth. The universe judges those who do that which is immoral. The government says it's okay. The government says, oh, it's war. We're going to have to enter into war. We're going to have to teach those Arabs a lesson. We're going to have to march into Syria. We're going to have to go into Iraq, now Iran, Afghanistan, and tell those people that American might shall prevail. Let's go get Saddam. And then we start these wars. Well, we call them wars, but war is just a euphemism for mass murder. And that's why I say politics is the clever art of using euphemisms, lies, emotionalism, and fear-mongering in order to dupe average people into accepting and even demanding their own enslavement, because they use euphemisms. They water down the meaning so that it's more acceptable to you. It's like, when I give my dog worming medication, I don't just put the pill in their mouth. I wrap it with bologna or cheese or something they like, and they're like, oh, that looks good. And that's what politicians do to you. They use euphemisms. Said theft, they call it taxation. You're like, oh, that's good. Taxation, it's just, that's the way things are. I mean, how could we have roads, schools, bridges, clean running water without taxation? Oh, this is so good. So they're duping you. And you demand it. Oh, I want the roads. So the only way to get roads, obviously, is to have enforcers violate other people's rights and steal money from them so that we can have the coffers filled, so that we can have these nice pothole-ridden roads, or these schools that don't teach kids what they're supposed to be teaching them, and they're graduating, getting out of 12th grade, unable to read, unable to do basic math, and then we got to introduce Common Core and dumb everything down because our policies aren't working and we're wasting a whole bunch of money. Government is a fantasy. It's an immoral fantasy, and people are buying into it. And another thing that governments do is they employ the Hegelian dialectic to keep people in line, to keep stirring up that fear. Problem, reaction, solution. They create a problem, wait for the fear-based response of the masses, and it's predictable. It's very predictable. These social engineers aren't stupid people. So they create and manufacture this problem, wait for the fear-based reaction, and then they step in to provide you with the solution that they already planned as they were creating the problem. It's called the Hegelian dialectic: problem, reaction, solution. And then the government goes, well, see, look at all these problems. We need to increase taxation so that we can have the TSA, $9 billion a year. So what if they fail 95% of their own government initiated red team tests? That means 95% of guns and bombs, all these explosives, make their way onto departing flights because TSA is nothing more than security theater. And that's why William Pitt the Younger said, necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedoms. It's the argument of tyrants. It's the creed of slaves. We need to listen to the wisdom of the founding fathers. And I'm not saying they all had their act together, because a lot of them were just washed up Masons. But truth is truth, no matter who said it. And necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedoms. It is the argument of tyrants. It is the creed of slaves. The left versus right paradigm is one of the biggest tools, if not the biggest tool, in the government toolbox, and they pull it out constantly, and we constantly keep falling for it. Like bait on a hook, we just bite, and they reel us in every single time. So government is a fiction, and they operate on two key principles. They need to deprive you of power so that they can collect that power for themselves. So it's a power transfer. When they create these laws, it's a transfer of power every single time. It's a mind game. Remember, government's mind control. And the second thing they're creating these laws for is so that they can increase their coffers. Because if you sin against the state, well, you must be punished. You must be caged. You must be fined. And that's how they create wealth. They don't create it themselves. They have to steal it from you. We produce the wealth. Let me just say it right. We produce and create the wealth, and then they steal the wealth from us. But you can't steal because the government hates competition. So I wanted to boil all these terms down. It's very important that we understand what politics is. It's very important that we understand what government is. It's very important that we understand what freedom is, and we need to stop letting our freedoms go. We need to stop being pansy-ass, wishy-washy Americans. We need to gird up the loins of our minds, so to speak. We need to understand what it is that we do. Like Mencius said, to act without clear understanding, to form habits without investigation, to travel a path all one's life without knowing where it really leads. Such is the behavior of the multitudes. And guys, believe me, the masses do not know where they're going. Yeah, they could be intellectually smart, but if they're going for government and they believe government is the answer to our problems, when it is the problem itself, they're not spiritually in tune. They're not in tune to truth. We need to get on the plane of truth and stop varying and oscillating away from it. We need to get on the plane of truth. The plane of truth runs whether anybody gets on or not. Truth is truth, even if nobody believes it, and lies are still lies, even if everybody believes them. Don't take any solace or comfort in promoting and holding fast to a lie. Taxation is a lie. It's not taxation, it's theft. War is a lie. It's not war, it's mass murder. It's sanctioned, government-sanctioned mass murder, and the state is that great fiction by which everyone seeks to live at the expense of everybody else. So I just wanted to make sure all these things were clear. That's why Samuel Adams said, if you love wealth greater than liberty, the tranquility of servitude rather than the animating contest of freedom, go from us in peace. We ask not your counsel or your arms. Let your chains set lightly upon you. Lick the hands which feed you, and may posterity forget that you were our countrymen. In other words, if you're going to go for government, if you're going to give up your freedom, like Benjamin Franklin said, if you want to give up essential liberty for a little temporary security that, by the way, never comes, because if the government promises you security, you don't get security. You get the removal of your rights and you get taxed to death. If you want to give up necessary liberty to acquire just a little promised security, you deserve neither liberty nor security. It's just the truth. So I'm going to try to keep this video short. I didn't expect to be going this long, but just understand what government is. Understand what politics is. Share this video with your friends. This, practically speaking, government is a cartel, and it's run by the international banking system called that we call the Federal Reserve. It's been in operation since at least 1913. And if you pull a bill out of your pocket, it's not a dollar anymore. It's a Federal Reserve note. It's a note of debt. They control our money. Like Amschel Rothschild said, give me control over a nation's money and I care not who makes its laws. Doesn't matter to me. I hold the purse strings, buddy, and you will do what I say. That's why the United States is not a country. It's a corporation. Title 28, Section 3002, 15A, the United States means a federal corporation. That means everybody who works for that corporation, congressmen, senators, presidents, they're all employees of that federal corporation known as the United States, which is operated by the Rothschilds banking cartel, and they're Zionists. And they hate America and they hate Americans, but they are going to suck our resources dry, and we are nothing more and nothing less than tax cattle to them. Israel owns Congress. And if you don't believe me, just look at a couple videos that I've done. Look at Adam Green's video. Proof is there. All you have to do is open your eyes and see. Not asking you to believe anything. This is a plea for you to come to the truth, the rock solid truth. The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. And it's time for us to get off of our knees and stand to our feet. Because if we don't get together, if we don't unite, if they continue to keep us separated, which is what another tool in the toolbox of government is, to distract, deceive, and divide us. And that's exactly what mainstream media does. Corporate media, by the way, is owned by the government. If you want to know about that, just look at my things that I've done, my videos that I've done on the CIA infiltrating all of mass media, print, digital, it doesn't matter. They own and control. The CIA controls the media. So that's governed media. That's government-controlled media. Their job is to distract, deceive, and divide us. And if we don't stand together, we will hang separately. If you guys enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give them a thumbs up, share them with everybody you know, and please don't forget to get on my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com, and subscribe to this channel. This is High Impact TV. Also subscribe to my main channel, High Impact Flicks, my backup to the main channel, High Impact Vlogs. I got to have all these channels because of all this censorship going on. I'm constantly being demonetized. I'm constantly being shadow banned. I've shown you video after video of that. There's just proof that not just me, just a lot of people are getting shadow banned, and it's ridiculous and it's disheartening and it's infuriating, frankly. Also, please get on my BitChute. Follow me on Twitter, on Gab. I'm trying to diversify here, and like I've always said, I will ride this cart until the wheels fall off. But you know, they're wobbling. The wheels are loosening. You know, they're squeaky. They're about to fall off. I'm going down the road like this. So I appreciate everybody. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Speak truth in your heart. Be a good person. If you have crap in your life where you're not being a good person, you're treating other people the way you wouldn't want to be treated, straighten your act up. Arm yourself. Educate yourself. Arm yourself with truth and arm yourself with firearms. Show people, you know, grab a firearm and get proficient with it. Know how to tear it down, put it back together, go to the shooting range, get to know that weapon. Don't be a victim. The government wants you to be a victim. They love it when there's a mass shooting because it shows them, it shows them to be the the champions to come in and save the day when the federal authority comes in riding on white horses, their horses being cruisers, and these MRAPs all in the street in the military gear, and hey, don't worry, I am here to save the day. Government, Big Daddy government will save you. No, they won't. They're here to kill you. 250 million people in the last century alone have died at the hands of government that they trusted. Don't trust government. Don't trust government. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.